The Animal Legal Defense Fund is the only organization dedicated exclusively to using the legal system to protect the lives and advance the interests of animals. Because the law is our most powerful tool for combating animal abuse and neglect. And animals need legal advocates to ensure our laws are effective and vigorously enforced. In 2018, the Animal Legal Defense Fund had a landmark year. Not only did we have several legal victories that will help countless animals, but also victories for our First Amendment right to free speech. Just one of the ways we protect free speech is by challenging state ag-gag laws. Ag-gag laws are enacted to make exposing and gathering evidence of animal cruelty on factory farms a crime. Thanks to our lawsuits, courts have already struck down ag-gag laws in Utah and Idaho. And in 2018, the federal Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals upheld our lower court victory, ruling that Idaho's ag-gag law violates the First Amendment. This is the first federal appellate court to strike down provisions of an ag-gag law. Our litigation over the constitutionality of North Carolina's ag-gag law is still pending, and in 2018, we filed additional lawsuits challenging Iowa and Kansas's ag-gag laws. Also in 2018, we won another precedent-setting decision when the Eighth Circuit Court of Appeals upheld another one of our lower court victories, ruling that endangered animals enjoy the same protections, whether in captivity or the wild, under the Endangered Species Act. We immediately began putting this historic legal precedent to work to rescue more abused and neglected animals from roadside zoos. After sending them notice of our intent to sue, Deer Haven Mini Zoo in Maryland agreed to voluntarily relinquish 14 of its animals to reputable sanctuaries. We coordinated the rescue and transfer of 2 ring-tailed lemurs, a bobcat, 6 Arctic foxes, 4 cavies, and a coatimundi. We have pending lawsuits against Olympic Game Farm in Washington and Landry's in Texas. We continue to confront cruelty by assisting federal, state, and local law enforcement and prosecutors in their pursuit of criminal charges against animal abusers. We've assisted in over 100 cases each year. In one case alone, we assisted in securing a conviction of 108 counts of animal cruelty against an animal hoarder in Queens County, New York. This year, we published the first ever farmed animal cruelty prosecution guide for the state of Illinois, the first resource of its kind, which explains which laws apply to farmed animals and how to apply them when building a successful criminal cruelty case. The Animal Legal Defense Fund launched a campaign to raise awareness that our laws still consider animals as property rather than living beings. Many of you joined us by participating in our I'm Not Property campaign, sharing photos of your companions and raising awareness that animals are more than mere property and deserve basic legal rights. We also carried that message to many conferences and trainings across the country for prosecutors and law enforcement as we continue to fight for greater recognition of animals in the legal system. We also filed a groundbreaking lawsuit on behalf of a horse named Justice, directly representing him as our plaintiff. Justice is a victim of severe neglect causing lifelong injury, and he's suing his abuser for the costs of his veterinary care that he'll need for the rest of his life. If successful, this lawsuit would be the first to establish that animals have the legal right to sue their abusers in court. Our lawsuit against the USDA for removing tens of thousands of animal welfare records from the agency's website continues. Animal protection groups regularly utilize the USDA database to obtain records about the conditions of animals at facilities regulated under the Animal Welfare Act, such as research labs, puppy mills, and zoos around the country. In turn, these organizations use the records to advocate for stronger animal protection policies, supply evidence for law enforcement action, and build legal cases against especially egregious violators. We're fighting for the records to be restored online. In Florida, we joined a coalition that successfully secured an amendment vote on the November ballot. And with the popular vote, we're victorious in ending greyhound racing in the state. The Animal Legal Defense Fund continues to pioneer and advance the study of animal law in our nation's law schools. There are now nearly 220 Animal Legal Defense Fund student chapters, and thanks in part to the advocacy of chapter members, there are over 177 law schools that have offered at least one animal law class. This year, we also developed 3 new course guides for law professors to use in their classrooms. And almost 100 law students from chapters across the country gathered in Chicago for our 2nd annual student convention in October. In 2018, we hosted 9 webinars on emerging animal law topics and launched our state-specific continuing legal education program, hosting our first event in Florida. Our pro bono network grew to more than 2,300 attorneys and 400 law firms and contributed more than $3.6 million in free legal services last year alone, allowing the Animal Legal Defense Fund to file more cases while engaging some of the nation's top law firms in our life-saving work. Every day, the Animal Legal Defense Fund's team of legal experts is developing innovative legal strategies to protect animals and advance the laws that protect them. But none of our work is possible without your support. More than 80% of the support that makes our work possible comes from individual donors. We don't get government or corporate funding. We rely on those who share our belief that the law is our most powerful tool to fight animal cruelty, and that the animals need legal experts in courtrooms and legislatures across the country. So thank you for your support. You're essential partners in every legal victory the Animal Legal Defense Fund achieves. 2018 was an amazing year, and I hope you'll help us start 2019 even stronger. Thank you.